Good morning, everyone. Happy Wednesday. You know what time it is. It's Coffee with Candace time. I hope you're having a really great start to your day and an awesome week so far. And of course, I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who's been liking, commenting, and sharing. I really appreciate it. So this week's topic is we actually have a special guest, Michael Cobb with ECI Development in Central America. He's got a couple of developments down there. And you're one of the founders. Is that right, Michael?
It is, Candace. Thanks for having me. And I'm sorry I'm not there in Las Vegas enjoying some coffee with you this morning, but I'm there in spirit, okay? Yeah.
Very good. So I know with all of this COVID-19, I mean, that's just going to be a hot topic we don't want to ignore the elephant in the room, but what has happened in your area and how is this affecting business and just, overall? What are you going
Yeah, sure. You're right. It is the elephant in the room, and it's important to put it out there. I mean, that we're seeing a tremendous loss of life and an incredible disruption to our social circles, the environment, the markets. I mean, everything's being affected significantly, and no one's immune, and we're not either. Obviously, we develop real estate. We build resort communities for North Americans. In Belize, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, and Panama. And because basically in Belize, Costa Rica, and Panama, there's been a complete shutdown, complete quarantines, that there's no activity. So those businesses have basically, ceased to operate on a proactive basis, but we have long-term renters, we have full-time residents living in our communities. And so we've continued to stay open. We've put in very, very serious, stringent protection mechanisms for our staff that have to continue to work to keep the utilities on. I mean, we operate the utilities, the electric and the water and the internet. So these necessities and required businesses do continue to operate, but again, with very, very tight safety measures for our team. New business is at a standstill, which it is, I think, for most companies right now. And it's hard to predict, where this is going to go, but the impact, I believe, will be, mid to long term. I think this is a significant shift for the world. And in fact, I have an article coming out, Candace, next week. I'll make sure you get a copy of it. It should be a fun read. It's an interesting read about sort of the final shift from the industrial to post-industrial society. This I believe we're seeing it. I think we're seeing the final shifts at the cultural and social levels. I mean, like from an industry perspective, we've been in the information age, kind of post-industrial. That's the catchword for maybe 20 years. But at a societal level, we really haven't changed. We still got in our cars and showed up to work at 8 o'clock. We had many people had a lunch break. Schools started with a bell and classes changed with bells. Very industrial, right? But this shift being forced upon us at the cultural and social levels is huge. And it's going to have some tremendously positive impacts once we get over the pain. I mean, this is a very, very painful time, but I think the lasting impacts will be largely positive of this transition. So,
yeah. I couldn't agree more, honestly. So I'm curious, how long are the quarantines? Like, how long are you guys shut down for? Is there a declaration of emergency similar to, because that's what we have here in Nevada? So it's a declaration of emergency and we're shut down through April 30th. So all non-essential businesses are in essence totally closed.
Right.
Real estate is of course considered essential. So of course only essential showings and just limiting. There's no open houses. There's restrictions on tenant-owned, like tenant occupied properties and things of that nature. So showing has definitely changed, but we're still doing business as needed and as essential.
Right.
We're shut down through April 30th. So what about in Central America, Belize specifically?
Roughly the same through the end of April. It might even be through mid-May at this point. I think they keep the dates move, right, as things. Belize was, I think we have our 8th case in Belize now, so it's not a whole lot at this point. But we're farther back on the curve. I mean, China kind of went through it. Italy's going through it, whatever, US. Belize is further back on the curve. So they're really trying to gauge as you know, when this thing will peak and kind of get over to the other side. So I think we're May 10th now, I think is what Belize is. So,
Oh,
but kind of the
yeah.
same general timeframes.
Okay. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I agree as far as, you know, learning how to do business through technology, which we already had done before, we did, but this is just showing us what we are capable of doing, how
Yep.
to make that shift, how to maybe be a little bit more efficient, maybe a little more efficient on time and energy and all of that. I mean, the environment has flourished. For me, I mean, I've actually been hopeful that someday, like, we would actually start to do a weekly shutdown in certain regions to, help the environment to heal itself. If we all do our part, we can kind of see that we've already started to, make some changes with the environment, with cleaner water, and clearer
Yeah.
air.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
significant. It's noticeable and significant. I know you've seen the pictures of pollution over Italy and other places, right? It's way down. And, I think the thing that really was challenging for both the workers and the employers was this notion of working from home. Would it work? Could I do it? And from a corporate perspective, am I going to lose productivity, communications, right? I mean, all of those concerns that were out there, there will, like I said, there's some pain, and there's going to be people that can't make the transition. Some companies can, some can't, right? But the companies that successfully transition and the people who successfully transition now know, in fact, that they can work from their home. Well, does it really matter if their home is in Las Vegas or in the Shenandoah Valley or Belize or Panama or Costa Rica? It makes no difference. Well, this type of knowledge, the certainty, it will change behaviors. I think that a lot more people are going to be looking at living overseas on a part-time, full-time basis because they know they can, and they can remain gainfully employed and do just as well from somewhere that they might prefer to be. And with the cost of living. I mean, it just simply costs a lot less to live overseas than in Latin America. I mean, you can go to Tokyo and it's a lot more expensive, right? But
Depending on your cup of tea, exactly.
right, but not coffee in Japan.
Yeah, no. America for my coffee. Yeah, I totally agree, and that's the beauty of really wanting to partner up with you and becoming a certified international property specialist. That is just the wave of the future. Like you said, you can really do business from wherever you are, depending on, of course, your profession and all of that. But just the opportunities are endless.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can live in Nicaragua for what I think one of your videos said, $2,000 a month is very
Well, yes.
well for
Well,
$2,000 a month on the beach in a beautiful gated community. Is it gated or
yes.
it is gated?
Golf course. You'll be eating organic fruits and vegetables, fish right out of the ocean. You'll have a maid. You'll have gardener taking care of things. I mean, right? It's yeah. And for not much more in Belize or Costa Rica or Panama. So right. I mean, the quality of life can be highly enhanced. And I lived in Nicaragua for 14 years. So I was there.
Right? You had two daughters that you raised?
We did. We took one. We had the 2-year-old when we moved, and then we had another one while we were down there. And Candace, we thought we would live there for 2-3 years until we got our project started, but ended up staying 11 more by choice. We were there for a total of 14 years, 11 because we wanted to be there. The quality of life is phenomenal.
That's amazing.
At the beginning, before we got on, you asked me to mention 2 things, and I want to do that just before we get off because I know we're coming up on 10 minutes.
Very good. Thank you for being mindful of the time.
I try because I'm on the other side of these too. You ask about Belize specifically, and you ask about anything that's just incredibly opportune. We had a formal branding ceremony for our Bayman Gardens, which are on Ambergris Key. They're about 2-3 blocks off the water. They're a very price point product, under $100,000 for a studio condo. And we've built the first 54, the pool, the clubhouse, tennis courts are all in. We had a branding ceremony about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now, with Best Western. So we are now a Best Western product. It's the first Best Western on Ambergris Caye. The celebration actually got canceled because the Best Western exec from Mexico didn't come to Belize because the whole COVID thing and whatever.
Right.
So we had a real soft announcement, but it's official. The contracts are signed. The fees are paid. It's a done deal. And these residential condos for under $100,000 really do well as an investment. They cash flow coming out of the gates about 8%. And when you hit full stabilization of occupancy and average daily rate, you get up into the double digits, 11, 12, 13%. So nice ROI, nice cash flow, and real diversification in a country like Belize, which we've seen tourism double-digit growth for 10 years. Airlift doubled in the last 3 years. English-speaking, common law, British Commonwealth. So a lot of things going for it that make it a nice, easy first step for somebody looking to do an offshore investment, right? It's an easy first step into the offshore world. So anyway.
You mentioned that the native language is English, and I think that a lot of people who are maybe hesitant of purchasing outside the United States or making that move, a lot of it is fear-based around community, I would say. I don't know if that's your take on that, but just thinking, when I get to this foreign land, who will my friends be? Will I be able to communicate? What does life look like in that area? And because you've done so well with this development, and it is in an English-speaking place and just a really well-rounded community, I feel that if you could describe a little bit about the community feel there, that would be amazing for some of our viewers.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's on an island called Ambergris Caye. Madonna sang a song about it many years ago in the 80s, so it's kind of got it known.
Madonna, yeah.
That's right. La Isla Bonita. Anyway, and so it really was a diving and fishing destination, very niche, and she kind of popularized it a little bit. It's still this, I would say it's Key West 30 years ago. It's Key West, Florida 30 years ago. And we've had people say that, and people come down and they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is Key West when I first went there 30 years ago. And they're saying, I wish I would have bought a condo in Key West 30 years ago. And my answer is, you can right here, and
Yeah.
right. And I mean, it's got funky beach bars, live music on the beach, barefoot dance under the moonlight. I mean, in little grocery stores, and I mean, people drive golf carts and ride bicycles. It's great. It's cool. And it's truly up and coming, and it's up and come. I mean, it's not Cancun by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not a niche diving destination anymore either. It's midpoint. We're seeing a transition. We're actually developing a Marriott property as well on the water, about 3 blocks from the gardens. And so we're seeing the first of the branded hotels. There's a Hilton Curio property that's open already. There's an Autograph in development as well. So the brands are just starting to hit. So again, the timing is really, really good. And again, just like you said, a quaint community. Everybody speaks English and Spanish. Both languages are spoken, but English is the official language, and ton of expats, not just American expats, Canadians, Europeans, other Central Americans. It's a neat community. It's a neat group of people who live there. Yeah. And,
wonderful. Well, I look forward to actually coming and doing the tour. So everyone who's watching this will very soon see Coffee with Candace, where we do a full tour.
On the beach.
On the beach.
On the beach.
Yes, exactly. Just how I like it. This is
yeah.
Get me on the beach. That would be beautiful. So yeah, thank you. So you said, and actually I will just toot my own horn. I've won Agent of the Month with your company. So I will be there. Once all of the travel bans and, just the non-essential travel, we want to be cautious, of course, and just be mindful. I had originally planned on coming out this month to tour all of your properties and to do some on-site videography and all that good stuff. But just shifting, as we shift with the market, we shift with change. Just gotta, come in just another month or two, I hope. So that should be perfect.
Candace, and we look forward to having you. And you should toot your own horn. As one of our realtor affiliates, you have been an absolute standout. You've served a lot of clients. You've brought a lot of people the information they're looking for about owning property overseas. Well done. We're going to be mindful of the situation. But yes, coffee with Candace on the beach sometime soon. Okay.
Absolutely. Very good, Michael. Well, thank you so much.
And
And
thank
thank
you.
you for who was tuning in. And if you need anything at all, of course, you know where to reach me. Vanderbilt Realty Solutions. I'm here moving you forward. Thank you, Michael. Thanks so much.